how to quite communicate this, how to tell you or speak about this being it, this being what was wanted. The sound of the dog ripping up the paper, the little tail in the background that side. The light, the buzzing of the computer. This is it, baby. It's never not going to be this. The person spends all its time in wanting something else and thinking about something else, trying to get to something else, trying to do something else, and it can't. This is what's happening. And it's alright. This is enough. You don't need all those fancy things you think you do. But there's nothing wrong with moving towards fancy things, but it's not the act of getting the fancy things, it's the moving towards, it's what's ever happening. If there's working towards getting a house, then it's the actual act of working towards it. It's always what's happening. And the mind plays the games. No, this is better. Why is this happening to me? I don't want this. I should have something better. It can't be cutting the carrots. It can't be stroking the fucking dog. It can't be my mundane job. It can't be lack of money. And all of it's conceptual and in an untrue reality. This is it. But how to communicate that? Because as I try to communicate it, it all begins to get really weird. Because all of these problems arise with the idea that you are someone separate inside a body. If that wasn't there, all these problems wouldn't arise. The idea that you're acting independently from everything else. And that's a not true. Not true. So who am I talking to? It all begins to get really odd. Why is she talking? Who's she talking to? Who will be free? Who will be enlightened? Who will not suffer? This is it, Khaleesi, innit? And it's just coming back, even though it was never really lost, but coming back to the simplicity of being. Just being. The beingness, the aliveness which is always there and never changes and isn't separate from anything, never suffered. It dreamt of suffering. It dreamt of someone that fucked up their life, that fucked up the relationship, that hurt others, that got hurt, that did wrong or right. It dreams of that. And for some reason, Lisa's pointing out that that's not true. And then there's never really a going home, because it's always been that beingness, dreaming and playing all these different things. But there can be the collapse of the dream that you're not at home. Oh my God, I have to just show you the cuteness of my dog. If she knows that I'm looking at her, she's going to start. She's just getting ready to go for a nap. If I look at her, she'll start trying to play again. She's so cute. Amness, the original I, the big I, amness, beingness, aliveness, consciousness, whatever fucking word you feel comfortable with, is free. It's boundless and it cannot be limited to the body. It's not inside or outside, it can't be found, and yet it is everything. Everything. It's everywhere. I is everywhere. And then it plays this funky game that's not really happening, of dreaming that that I is inside a body and in relationships with other I's inside the body. If you cannot think, there's nobody there. nobody inside and outside. It's only happening in conceptual reality that's become energetical. If you hadn't learned the word I, if you hadn't learned the name, who would you be? If you had brain damage and forgot everything, who would you be? The character, the description of who you are is always coming and going. Coming and going and going and coming. Yeah, there's something there that's so boundless and huge. And what I'm talking about is when this energy of this tight contracted self collapses, that believes it's inside, and I don't really know how it collapses or why it collapses, and I don't know how or why it really started, but it just kind of falls away, and that dream that you were separate from everything else dies, and with that the suffering dies. And ultimately that collapse is going to happen in physical death, but it can seem to happen when the body is alive as well. The death of that energy that's claiming to be certain things over others. And then the character still carries on, the characteristics of the body still carry on, but the one that took that to be who they were fell away. And then it's another part that arises in this. The character's another thing arising in this. But it's no longer you, it's a part of this. Oh my god, it's so hard to put into words. No freedom is found in morality. No freedom is found in worrying. No freedom is found in trying to save things and make the situation better. That might be happening, but the daydream that will make your life better is a lie. The body might be saving objects, the body might be planning, but the idea that will make you better is a lie. The freedom is in the act of what's happening, in the act of planning, in the act of saving. Not the dream that saving will do better, that the morality will do better. But that person's always kept caught in that whirlwind. Me, 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 me. Me, 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 me. This is it, baby. Now you can see Khaleesi because she's sleeping. She looks so beautiful. So lovely. So that's it. That's the end of the introduction. If you have any questions, then you can email me, you can send me a message, you can call in on Skype. I tend not to see the ones on Ustream because, as I'm sure you noticed, that you can only type in a few words. Like 10 words or something at a time. So I tend to do it all through Skype. So Kayan 75 asks, hi Lisa, I was wondering if you could talk a bit about the difference between personal suffering for the person versus suffering that just arises for no one. That's not the way my language is, that I call suffering the personalization of pain. So pain and pleasure arise. So pain can arise. And suffering I call the personal entity that's claiming it. The one that's claiming the pain, and that's what I call suffering. So the difference is when it's your when it's your pain, then you believe you've got to do something to make it better, and it's your pain, and your pain has lasted for 5 years, 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and you're maybe wrong for having that pain, this is maybe bad, and so on. And pain that's just arising is just pain, full-on pain. But it's not inside, outside, it's just pain. It's not yours or mine, it's just pain. So it's just the collapse of that one that believes that everything's happening to someone in a time-bound reality. And it's an energetical collapse. And then there's beingness, with pain appearing, pleasure appearing, sex appearing, dog appearing, woman appearing, whatever, eating appearing, drinking. Hi, Mr. Niels. Meister Niels. Hi, Meister Niels. If everything just is, then isn't the illusion also part of this? Believing in the story of self seems to be described as a trap, but there is no choice and no way to make anything happen. How can it be a trap or even illusion if that's what is? Well, yes, the dream of the person is also what's happening, but I would just distinguish two differences, and it really fucking doesn't matter distinguishing it or hearing it or agreeing or disagreeing. I mean, basically everything's just appearing and disappearing in boundlessness. But what I would say is that the illusion of the self gives a certain filter. It's like putting a filter on what is. But that's not outside of what is, and it's not bad and it's not wrong. But when the filter's there, then suffering can arise or will arise. When it's not there, then it's just boundlessness with whatever is happening. And for some reason, life decides to drop the filter in some body-mind mechanisms, and seemingly it talks about it as well. It likes body-mind mechanisms to talk about that. Just like it likes some body-mind mechanisms to make coffee and sell tea to people. It also likes body-mind mechanisms to talk about the illusion of the self. And of course nothing's a trap and nothing's an illusion, because they're both words, and no word describes anything. And everything I say is utter bullshit, but everything you say and think is utter bullshit as well. It's not just a one-way thing. So your question is utter bullshit, Mr. Niles. And my answer is utter bullshit. But the difference maybe between you, there and here, although there's not really a there and here, but just to talk about this, is that you might believe there's some truths, or there might be energy coming up and claiming some things to be true or real, whereas this is just sees it all as utter bullshit. Hi, Phyllis. I just got back from the seaside, so shells are still happening. Stan says your talks are fully booked and he has to refuse people. I think it's fully booked for sleeping, so people have to they can only come and go for the talks, I think. And they have to find somewhere else to stay. But yeah, of course it is. It's a fantastic deal. Stan is so generous. But I don't think he's going to do it again, because too many people kept pestering him for single rooms. So I don't think it's going to happen again. But yeah, it's a fantastic deal. It's so generous of Stan to offer everyone to stay at his for free. This is the Belgium talks, if people don't know what we're talking about. But yeah, so it might be the last one, but you're more than welcome. Even though it's full up for staying, you can come to talks and drop into talks. Hi, Michael May. Okay, this is from Michael May. It's a poem. I was listening to you as these words were written. Shining star in eternal sky, everything and nothing at all. Silent love, infinite heart. Excuse me, please. I need to fart. Dog with bone, alone at home, inside the computer, a brutal tutor. This is it, nothing else, no little me or mental health. Here in the now, deepest bow, he to himself, oh holy cow. I think he sent me another one, Michael. I couldn't do a Liverpudlian accent to it. Let's see, hang on, maybe I could. They're from Liverpool? No, I don't think. A Liverpudlian accent. Shining star in eternal sky, everything and nothing at all. I don't think I'm doing it. Silent love, infinite heart. Okay, I'm bastardizing your poem. I shall stop. Very nice. This is from Crystal Ball. Dear Lisa, would it be possible to have a talk with you on Skype? I am Spanish, but I can talk English more or less. Thank you. Well, that was all the questions. Hey Dee, you made it. Oh my god, that's such a cute picture. Oh my god, I love the picture. Your little eyes. And your smile. It might have been a full picture when you put it on there, but it's just eyes and nose and smile. It's that much I can see. Oh, yeah, Jackie. What about my question? Yeah, Jackie, I can't see your questions because you're on I can see them now, but because you're online, because you're on Skype, it doesn't show me your questions. So if I don't answer them, that's why. It's only just luck if I look into the corner and see your question coming up, which I just did. Can you talk about how awareness is an illusion, how life is direct? Also, is life really happening one thing at a time? Is it really that simple? I seem to get much more of a sense of this, but what's stopping me collapsing? Do I call on Skype to hear you as I get confused by delay on Ustream? Are you receiving me? Oh yeah, no, you asked too early. I wasn't Ustreaming yet. You can listen through Skype or Ustream. It doesn't matter. Hey, Nicholas. Okay, so what was the first bit of the question? Can you talk about how awareness is an illusion, how life is direct? Well, if you didn't have words, how would you know that you are awareness? Awareness is a really fantastic pointer to how this is all one, and it's a really great way to see the impersonality of all this and how it's all one thing happening. But who sees the awareness? A thought sees the awareness. Awareness isn't the truth of it. It's just a tool that's been used. There is no awareness. There's what is. And awareness is a word and a thought. And who sees it? Who knows awareness? Who is aware? There is what is. There's no position left at all. But I really understand why people use the word awareness. It's something very clear and easy to point out. I mean, really, I'm using the word beingness instead of awareness, but it's all nonsense. There's nobody being aware. There's just what is, beyond the words of what is. Also, is life really happening one thing at a time? Is it really that simple? I don't know what you mean by this, one thing at a time. It's all very mysterious. There's what is, and in what is, it's happening and not happening. There's a part to it where it's not happening at all, and there's a part to it where it is happening, this beingness. And in the happening part, the reason we call it happening as opposed to not happening is things seem to be moving. And that's really fucking weird. And then another thing that seems to happen is memory of the things moving. And then thoughts about the things moving and understanding about the things moving. It's really quite a full-on experience. But there's one thing that never changes, never suffers, and is everything and nothing. It dreams in suffering, it dreams in this personal entity that believes it's suffered and believes it's happening to them. Then I seem to get much more of a sense of this, but what's stopping me collapsing? Well, the me still has juice to live out. I don't know why, but there's still something that it's doing and trying to get, and that's so perfect. Couldn't be any other way while that's happening. But it's still got energy to do that. Just like a tree that's still growing up towards the sun. It's still got a movement. But there's no stopping it. It's happening as it happens. At some point that's going to fall down. And you can't make it faster or slower. Your picture, Jackie, is so cute. I can see it's used in front of your little house, but I can't really see the two people, they're a bit blurry. Hi, John. We are what we are, aren't we? So that would mean there is just the body, which is what we are, but no one can claim it. Well, really, John, that's a thought after the event, that we are the body. Are you really a body right now? The body seems to appear many times. The character seems to be coming and going a lot of the time. I just see Jackie. Hey Jackie, you can talk now. I had you on silent. Hello?
Yeah, hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Uh-oh. Can you hear my dog?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll come back in a sec, my dog thinks there's somebody here. Hold on a second.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Yeah, just, I was asking you about awareness.
Yeah.
It's like, there's sounds and there's sights and there's colours and there's shapes.
Yeah.
And like, the me thinks that I am aware of that.
Yeah.
But I kind of got the sense after the weekend or whatever, like, that there isn't, it's not me being aware of me, like when you're saying things arise kind of in awareness.
Yeah.
So it's just like where, it's like, it feels like something has to be aware of all this.
Yeah, but what could that thing be?
I don't know.
Unfortunately,
everything's so kind of bright and colourful and
yeah. Well, there is this beingness, this I, but you can't see the I just is. But you, as soon as you see it, that's a thought already, which is okay,
yeah.
but the thought is arising in the I. And if you want to call the I awareness, I'm not too opposed to that. It's just that normally it's like I am aware, but it's awareness. You can't know awareness. You can just know thoughts about awareness.
Yeah.
The thoughts are arising inside it, but you can never turn around and look at it because, I mean, you could say the looking is everywhere. You can't. How would you look at it? How would you know who you are? But there's nothing really aware. I mean, we're just saying this to be able to talk about it. There's nothing that's aware. There just isness. I mean, what could possibly be aware? It's just empty. And that emptiness is all that was ever wanted. I mean, the person knows the fullness, but the other side to it is this emptiness, and it's that emptiness that's wanted, not the person that thinks it needs to know something.
Yeah, just now and then I kind of get a sense of like the complete illusion. Like it's like I start. I mean, it's gone again. But it's like now and then I get the sense of what the word illusion means.
Yeah.
How the me and awareness is complete illusion.
Yeah.
Like it really doesn't exist.
No. And there's this amazing trickery happening. This amazing game of these thoughts and feelings that are coming up, really giving the appearance of awareness and of a somebody being aware.
Yeah.
It's a really beautiful game. It's just not so beautiful when no other energy's in the person that's part of the game. You know, when all the energy's in the person that's going through all this. It's like I was playing on the airplane the other day. I was playing my computer game, and I kept dying. I was like the person in the car and kept dying. And it's if the energy got sucked into that computer game and really believed it was the person driving, that would be so traumatic.
Yeah, that happened with Darren Brown. Did you see that episode?
No.
Do you know Darren Brown?
Is he the magician?
Yeah, he's an illusionist.
Oh, yeah.
And he did that with, he had this young guy who was really into video games.
Yeah.
And he was playing a zombie video game.
Yeah.
And basically he kind of hypnotizes the people so they kind of go unconscious. And then they carried him into a real life setup of the same game.
Oh my God.
And then brought him out of consciousness. It was phenomenal. It was just
And then he believed he was in the game.
Absolutely, yeah. And then they put him back to sleep, brought him back in front of the video game, you know, like the console.
Yeah.
And woke him up, and he's saying to his mate, like, "Oh my God, that felt so real." It's just really clever.
But that's exactly what's happening now. The I, although really the I is everything, the big I, but the I has been sucked in to the Jackie drama.
Yeah.
And it really feels like it's real. And the Jackie drama is lots of thoughts and feelings and sensations, giving the appearance that there's somebody exists called Jackie that's existed for 30, 40, however many years, and it's going to exist for another period of time. And has had certain experiences, has problems or not problems, and that really feels real.
Yeah.
And what seems to happen when the change or awakening happens is the energy, it's like people say it's an expansion, but it's more that contracted dream loosens, and then the person's arising in the beingness rather than you are that person in life. It swaps round the energy. So from rather, because the energy, it feels like the energy gets sucked into this person.
Yeah.
And it becomes such a reality that you are someone going in time, and it's constantly being played, this story of you.
Yeah, and then everything becomes personal.
Really real. And it can be great fun, but it can be devastating and really scary and uncomfortable.
and like, you know, like after the weekend with you in Nottingham,
Yeah.
like, God, I don't know, I just, yeah, it's like the me was so, you know, like Rebecca said, like the me was just irrelevant.
Yeah.
And I came home and just totally kind of calm, and you know, life seemed very easy because there was no, it was almost like there were no thoughts. There was just
What was happening? Yeah.
just what was happening exactly.
Yeah.
And then little by little, as kind of other people's emotions kind of started demanding things of me.
Yeah.
Try not to name names.
But
I could feel the contraction
coming back in, because it starts, that game starts being true again, that life could be better if it was played a different way, and it's my life and it's happening to me. Whereas as that begins to get loosened, which might happen in talks, then it's irrelevant really what's happening. It's just happening, and this is it.
Yeah.
What's happening?
Yeah. And it was gutting. Like I was so depressed for a few days of like just having kind of lost that, and the, you know, and the contraction and the me and the taking things personally, and oh God, it's a really hard transition, and then you kind of get into a sort of halfway.
Many people say that that's flip-flopping's the worst time, but in a way, in the flip-flopping, when it's only a terrible time when it's come back. When it's not there, it's not a problem, but when it's come back, it feels unbearable, and the mind will start playing, I can't get out of this, and how long am I going to be stuck in this, and all these feelings, these depressing feelings, these hopeless and despair feelings. And then it changes, something changes, and then it's, this is it.
Yeah, and I think in a way, like, yeah, that was the thing I kind of got really from the weekend, or at least, you know, mentally, was like things just change.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking about like you just can't wrap things up.
No.
I think that really helped somewhere.
Yeah.
If anything helps. Anyway, I'll let you go. I could hug you all evening. But...
nice speaking with you. If you want to talk again, send me a message. I'm just putting you on silent, so you just need to write me a message, and hopefully I'll see it, and then I can unsilent you.
Okay. All right. Cheers, Lisa.
Thanks, Jackie. Okay, I'm just going to answer some of my questions from my email box. So this is from Adam. 2 questions today. Firstly, the meeting on Saturday at the Strand, do I need to book or anything similar, or can I just turn up? You can just turn up. Oh yeah, so free advertisement, Adam, thank you. This Saturday I'm doing a talk in the George Pub, the Strand, which is Holborn, I think, tube station, near Holborn tube station, which you can find out on my website, at 2 p.m. on Saturday. And anyone can just turn up. And you can have a beer while I'm talking, I don't mind. Secondly, you often talk about a me thing and say it is an energetic contraction. I assume it's not actually a thing, but a bunch of thoughts and feelings. Could you say something about that, please? Thank you, as always, and look forward to Saturday. Yeah. Whenever you talk in language, language is in opposites, and there is actually no person. Even when that feels like there's somebody there, there's actually nobody there. It's lots of different thoughts and feelings and emotions coming up, giving the appearance that somebody's there, and there's actually no solid entity. So there's no awakening, and there's no one to deconstruct because there's nobody actually there. But it gives the appearance that somebody's there. And I say the me thing, and the mind, the me, and I give it names like it's a continuous thing, and it's actually being recreated every second, or created every second. It's quite amazing. But I was just talking about that with Jackie. It's funny how the questions tend to be similar. What day did I do my last talk? I'm sorry, I'm just trying to work out which questions. 19th, okay, so it's everything after the 19th. Okay, this is from Earthmonk. Earthmonk and I have been having lots of conversations, and I just wanted to reply to it because I write to him back sometimes, and I'm not very good at communicating it in a written way. It's hard. I prefer talking about it, so I'm just going to speak about it for a bit. So basically, I think I was quite tough on you, Earthmonk, and saying that you're verbally wanking. I'm sorry, I'm such a bitch sometimes. What was I telling you? Oh yeah. But maybe now you want to stop. You only want niceness and validation of your wank. Okay. Oh, I bet you're such a sweetie, and there I am telling you that you're talking wank. So anyone that doesn't speak English, wank is like rubbish in English. And you've written back some emails to me saying why don't that you like me and you're a supporter, and why am I being so tough? And it's really hard, this, because you're taking it personally. Everything that you think and feel isn't true. And I suppose I'm just trying to hit home on that. And I don't know why it's coming out in quite a harsh way. It just is, but it's not that I think or feel that about you. As soon as it's said, it just disappears. There's not a continuous person here that's speaking, there's just reactions happening in the moment. And what I hear you saying, I think that was in reply to an email that you sent me describing things you think. And I'm just trying to shock you out of that. It's not true. What there is what is. There's this beingness, this aliveness. And then what's appearing in this beingness and aliveness are thoughts and ideas that colour this. And there's nothing wrong with this colouring, but instead of that colouring just appearing and disappearing, somebody claims it and takes it to be true. So a thought comes up and says, this is rubbish, what's ever happening. So this is rubbish. But that's just a thought that's appearing and disappearing. It's not a truth in any way. It's not reality. It's just a thought that comes and goes. This person claims it and takes it to be who they are, somebody with opinion that this is rubbish, and tries to hold on to it and prove it. And in your earlier emails, a lot of them were very long and trying to convince me of your point of view. And I'm not interested in debating your point of view or telling you you're right or wrong. I'm trying to point out to you this freedom that's here, this boundlessness that's here all the time, in which everything's appearing in and disappearing in. Earthmonk, though, keeps wanting to focus on the thoughts and the ideas and the stories. What are the stories and the words appearing in? And yeah, I'm being really tough because I'm sorry to be rude, but I assume you're Jewish and you've got a very strong mental activity. From your last name, I assume you're Jewish or Jewish, and from my experience of speaking with people with Jewish background, they've got a really strong thinking head, which can be great, but when it's taken personally, then it can go crazy, and it just keeps focusing on thoughts. And what I'm trying to point to is beyond thoughts, and I'm not interested in your opinion. I'm not interested in your wank, I'm sorry, or in your expression of this, or in your arguments with me about this. All I'm interested in doing is trying to cut through those ideas. They're not true. What are they appearing in? Even if they're true or untrue, that doesn't fucking matter. It's got nothing to do with the ideas. You're listening to this and thinking that what I'm speaking about is about ideas or a new way of seeing this or seeing life, and it's got nothing to do with the ideas. They're trying to cut into something else. They're arising in something that's huge, that's endless, that's happening and not happening, that's absolutely free. Oops. And not personal. And you're most probably going to hear this and think that I'm arguing with you. Everything I say is wank. You say, why is it that what you say isn't wank and what I say is wank? Everything I say is wank. But here, this body is not lost in a dream of I am somebody in time. So therefore, that's why this body speaks about this. Because there's not this energy that's claiming I am a body, I am enlightened, I am not enlightened, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm right or wrong. The body has certain characteristics, but there's nobody in there claiming those characteristics. So therefore, this body seemingly talks about it and is trying to point out how everything that you think, feel, every emotion, everything that's happening is appearing in a boundlessness that's always there and always free. And that energy of that contracted personal self that believes it's someone in time can collapse. I don't know if it's listening to this it collapses, or why it collapses, but for some reason Lisa is speaking to you right now about it, and it's got nothing to do with what you think about what Lisa said. There's this freedom here in which all these sounds are appearing, and they have no meaning. It's all meaningless. It's all bullshit. It's all pointless, going nowhere, and it's so pointless it's even beyond the word of pointless and meaningless. These two are appearing in something. You certainly get me excited, Earth Monk, but knowing Earth Monk, he'll be like, oh, blah, 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 and take that personally. Nothing to do with that. This is it. This is it. This is it. The freedom's here. 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 I don't give a fuck about what you think or feel. I don't. Well, I say it with a smile. But from the harshness, to interpret Lisa doesn't like me is to completely miss the point. Completely miss the point. Lisa doesn't like or dislike, it's just action happening. And if dislike comes up, it's just in that moment and then it's gone again. And I saw you say in one of them, I won't write you anymore. And this is just all personal stuff. This is just you taking it personally. As soon as I've said this, I've forgotten it. Who's holding on to it, Earth Monk? Oh yeah, I said I know my emails are drama, drama, drama. I see it sometimes and others don't. I'll stop writing. And then you said in one, I'm a fan of you. It's got nothing to do with that. And then in another, you said the guru's job is to be merciless. Well, I don't know about all that stuff. Hey Dee, I just got your question, so I'll answer it now. You can also ask me on Skype, but don't worry, if you're just on Ustream, that's good. So Dee says that she's had an argument with a friend, or she's been harsh with a friend and she feels really bad about it. Any words? This is it, Dee. This. And the mind or the person feels guilty because it believes it could do something different and that it shouldn't have done something. It wasn't you speaking. You're not in there speaking, there's just speaking happening. There's just words appearing. But you feel caught up with all this story, mostly because of this idea that you can help, which you can't. This is it, Dee, though. And well, that plays, that whole story of you're bad and you're wrong and you're guilty, that's what has to play. There's no answer to it. Going back to her, apologising, or just sitting there, there's no answer. It just hurts. It's painful. He can't do it better, he can't have done it differently. It is what it is. And everything you dislike in her is you. But not on a small level. On the big I level. This is it, Dee. This is it. Maybe sometimes what these talks work like is like a bell. Bing, this is it. Ah. Bing, this is it. Ah. Hey Lisa, are you there? Hi Matt. Awesome rant. Love it. Hi Martin. Hi Lisa. This is obvious and understandable, but do you have some methods of living and realizing? Couldn't get to Berlin, but I will see you. I have precognition. Cheers, hug. But do you have some methods of living and realizing? I don't know all that. I just talk about this stuff. That's it. It's just talking about it happening. It seems to get messy as soon as the ideas of method and living this come up. Because the mind starts imagining something better, and it's all about the collapse of that one that's trying to get to something better. But if method and living it happens, then it happens. And that might actually make the person feel a little bit more comfortable. But I don't recommend things. I don't know. I mean, in a way, you could say the repetition of listening to these talks, but I don't know. All we know is what's happening. And that's where the freedom is. And it's weird for me to try and imagine being somebody that needs to go somewhere. we're talking about the collapse of that dream. But I understand when that's there. And I remember when that's there, it really feels like a reality that you need to improve your life. It's your job to make your life better. I don't know what collapses and doesn't collapse that. It just happens, like everything else. Derek, does the me sense or self need to fall away for one to understand what you are talking about, or can your understanding be there even with the me and its reality still arising? Thanks, Lisa. Love you. Sometimes there is this understanding that the me and its reality world are arising in this, and sometimes there's just this without a me at all, and sometimes it is all me and it's all drama and there is no real sense of this. Yeah. Yeah, the understanding can be there when the person's there too, but as you can see, the understanding isn't it. The understanding is something that comes and goes. Seeing there's no person there comes and goes. And that understanding can be appearing when the me's there or not there. But the me not being there doesn't require the understanding. Hi, Stan. There are 4 more places in the house because some people are wanting to sleep in tents and some people have to share the big room with 3 or 4 persons. Yeah. Nobody wants to share the big room at Stan's house. This is in Belgium. So if you don't, so there's places left, but only in the big room. So you have to share with more people. So there are places left. Someone's just about to call in. What's up, going slider man? Hey, what's up? Irish wealth. Hello, Irish wench. Who's that then? Hello, D, it says. Irish wench. Hello, Jackie. Irish wench. Oh, that's Helen. Hey, Helen. It's Helen here from Krishna Feckers. Lolo. You guys made me laugh so much that weekend. A lot of people have commented how much laughter there was in Nottingham. There was a lot of laughter. Just waiting for someone to call in. So this is from Paul Williams. Do you think self-inquiry is useful? It's as it is. It's like asking, is a cup useful? It's like asking, is the sky useful? It's like asking, is the ground useful? Okay, I have to come back to you. Hello?
Hello?
Hi, Julian.
Hi, how are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Let's go. You're on live stream or Ustream right now?
That's right.
Cool, cool.
So you've got 70 people listening in as well. But they're not really real. It's just a number.
Okay. Cool beans. So I'm going kind of crazy right now because I guess you could say I've had this experience of kind of not feeling separate and not having this sense of I-ness and self.
Yeah.
And it's like, because I've had this experience, there is the seeker, because I obviously want to get back to that feeling.
Yeah.
And knowing that I want to get back to it, it's kind of like paradoxical, because I want it, but I can't search for it, because if I search for it, then I'm looking for something that's already here.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's kind of getting to a point where I'm like driving myself crazy, because it's like I'm kind of questioning everything I'm doing, and it's like, I don't know, it's really confusing. How did you come to a point in realizing that you needed to stop searching? Is, I guess, my question.
I don't know if that really happened. It seemed to be what happened in the story was that everywhere I looked, I failed.
Right. And I totally understand that.
But for years after the original awakening, it went on.
Because that's what everyone's essentially doing, in a sense. I mean, even if you're not looking for yourself, but you're looking outwards for something, you attain it, and then you realize that wasn't it, so you start over.
Yeah, and it got to the point where that energy was just giving up, but it wasn't my efforts.
Right.
It was just it kind of got snookered. But I couldn't describe to you how it got snookered. It got snookered in its own game that was never really happening.
Right. So it's kind of like you kind of gave up, and then that giving up is, I guess, what you could say caused an awakening. But I feel like some people tell themselves, "Oh, I'm just gonna give up," and then it'll just happen. But
it's not like that. You can do it 100 times, and you can swear to God, or you can swear to Krishna, or you can swear to whoever holy person you want to that you're going to give up, and it's just got nothing to do with you. But that you energy has to play out until it stops, which is just so painful to hear, especially when there's been an awakening and there's a knowing intellectually of that freedom and some sort of remembering of that freedom.
Because I'm completely aware of it, and I can't, like, even
you can't get back there.
I can't even explain it to other people, because it's just something you feel, and it's like I can do the daily activities and do what everyone else is doing, but in the back of my mind, it's like, I know this isn't it.
Yeah, but it is it in a way. That storytelling saying this isn't it and this isn't enough is a game. It is it in a way, but and it's a really terrible play that will happen, but it'll be coming and going, is it's constantly screaming, this isn't it. And it just holds up that memory of the awakening as another thing,
Right.
like the car, like anything else. But, I mean, it's hopeless. I mean, hearing this, it's like a dagger sometimes, hearing this. Because all you'll want at the moment is to get back to that freedom, to that love, to that endlessness.
Yeah,
And it's an impossibility. You cannot get back there. It's that you energy which gives the appearance of contraction.
right.
It's always
And
the boundlessness, but what a terrible thing to have to sit and listen to over and over again.
No, and I like when I listen to your videos, it's like I know that my very attempt in finding this state is like a person who's looking for something else, which is not what you're supposed to be doing. But it's almost worse than not knowing, because it's like now you know, but sometimes I just wish that I didn't know and could just pretend.
But remember, all your memories about it aren't really true. Every imagery. The thing that what might happen though is when you're listening to these talks, or it could be walking through the park or whatever, it could be doing things, is there might be a resonance which is beyond the memories. It's like everything begins to collapse and there it is, like shimmering in the background. But remember, all your ideas and memories about it are ideas and memories arising in this boundlessness. But they're playing their part as another carrot dangling in the future somewhere. You can't remember this. You can't remember what it's like.
No,
you can't.
And I get that. It's like even the idea of believing that that state I had is something to attain. That's not what it is, because the very belief that there can be an idea of what it is not it.
Yeah. The way you'll remember it is you'll remember it through pleasure. You'll remember it through a pleasurable feeling, and because that's the only thing that can be remembered. It can't remember not existing. It can only remember the sensations and the feelings and it's impossible. So whenever it begins to come up, those ideas about what it was and what you want to get to, it's all not true.
Right.
It feels like it is though, and it feels like I'm being really harsh, cutting everything off, but it's
no, it's funny
trying
too,
to point out that it's just not in any of it.
Right.
And the mind will play.
Because when you're explaining it, it's like what you say is harsh, but it's not at the same time, because it's true in a sense.
Yeah, and there'll be a knowing of it. Once there's been an awakening, there's a knowing it's always there. Even before the awakening, but once there's been awakening, it's like it's vibrating in the background somewhere. It's not really vibrating. That's a load of nonsense, but it's kind of felt. But what the person will do is imagine it in feelings and sensations of bliss or things or experiences. It can't remember it. It can't remember the emptiness or not existing.
Yeah, and I was doing a little bit of research, and I saw that you first kind of had this realization when you were in a meeting with Tony Parsons. I think is that correct?
No, it was in a car crash. It was actually happening for many years before that. Actually, it was happening on and off, just like but I think that's the way it is for a lot of people. Like for on and off, I can remember it all through teenage years. But the first big awakening was in a car crash when I was 25.
Oh wow.
But the reason that you might think that is because a lot of people write bios about me on the website.
Well, yeah, and then that's the thing, the story. It's like the one thing I've noticed with everyone who talks about like non-dualism and their awakenings is that there's the story, but the story is never consistent.
Yeah.
It's like you can say anything literally, and that's why you say it. That's why I saw in your bio. It's like, oh, but this couldn't be true. Like it's like not necessarily true because it's just a story.
Yeah.
It's not real.
And it changes, and then people will hear bits of it and change it, and then you'll remember different bits of it, and it's always changing, and it really doesn't matter. I just am talking about it now more of a point to reflect back what I'm saying.
Wow. And I guess my last question is, so I mean, you in your story, you said you were in an accident and you you had this realization, which kind of had you go on this journey. And it's, I guess, my question is that it's that exhaustion of not being able to remember and find the state that kind of just makes you stop searching, right?
Yeah, but I've been spiritually seeking for many years before that. I've been seeing Tony Parsons. I'd been spiritually, so I was already pretty exhausted by the time the car crash came. I'd done years and years of Buddhism, and lots of different funky things. And then the car crash came. It was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna die.
Right.
And then it just became immensely funny. And it wasn't a realization as an intellectual realization. The energy just swapped from being personal and this condensed, contracted energy to being everything. It just was car spinning, car banging, crashing.
Wow.
And then it was laughter, and then there was a bit of pain in the foot, and then there was laughter for a lot of hours after that, and it just, laughter often is a side effect of it, but it wasn't anything that was funny. It was just that energy swap from it being me that's having a car crash to a car crash happening in me, or in that big I. And then that, after that, for many years it seemed to come and go. But the really amazing thing is that I never knew it, because I never could, you can never, this is so cool, this bit, you can never remember awakening.
Right. No,
I
understand.
You can't remember it. So it was like, I can't.
You can't. I was reading this book by Ramana Maharshi, and it says something like you can't describe the experience because
there's nobody there.
Even the idea of being able to articulate the experience would pretty much deny the experience, because it's not something that can be explained through thought
and you can't think about it. It's the only way in which I can talk about it with you, and this is a lie, and I'm tricking everyone by doing this in a way, is I'm comparing it. So in thought, there's a comparison to before and after happening. But in the actual, when that's collapsing, it's not happening to someone. It's not an experience. And the only way you can talk about it is through comparing it to past and future. And all of that, in a way, is what is a lie, is that comparison to past and future. But what makes the human be able to talk about it, whereas the dog can't talk about it. They just are it. They've never seemingly contracted and lost that, so they can't talk about it, where the human can seemingly compare it in time to a contracted personal energy to that collapsing away. But when it collapses away, you can't know that collapsing away. The only thing you can do is compare it, and that's a load of bullshit, that comparison. But sometimes I do talk about the comparison to try and explain what I'm talking about.
Right.
You might need to listen to that back.
No, that made sense.
It does. Once there's been awakenings, it does make sense. And you're listening, in a way, and it's not a rational listening.
It's more of a just
knowing what's being talked about.
Remembering an experience. It's not about trying to really understand what it is.
Yeah.
And it's almost like, it's terrible, because it's this state of, right now I'm in the state of limbo, because I obviously can't search for it, but it's like
pleasure doesn't do it anymore.
Right. I can't, I know that seeking for something is not it. That's not gonna, it's terrible.
So all the juice goes out of pleasure, seeking for pleasure.
It's terrible.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable. But everything passes, and everything's coming and going, and it's not really happening. But whether that makes it less or more is irrelevant in a way. It is what it is. If there's feeling terrible, that's what's happening, feeling terrible.
And how are your relationships with people? Because mine are just it's almost really funny, because it's like I'm watching, there's kind of this new dimension that's been added, where now I'm watching everything, and I'm not fully engaged in it. I'm just kind of aware of what's happening. When someone's saying something to me, I'm not reacting as much as I would prior to that awakening, because it's I'm aware that this isn't really it.
Yeah.
It's weird to explain.
Yeah, it can be a little bit. It seems like schizophrenic, the relationships, um, because there's this halfway house where maybe sometimes the relationship's taken as serious, and then other times it isn't.
Right.
So the character can be a little bit unreliable in times of awakening, or the person can be a bit unreliable because sometimes the relationship is really serious, and then sometimes it's all just seen as a bit of a joke.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's hard for the other
seen as
person
an
to take.
asshole because you're not responsive. Or it's.
But it's what's happening, and if that's what's happening, I mean that other person is you ultimately. So
right.
that reaction is exactly the same way as the reaction that's happening in your body's happening. It's all appearing from the emptiness. Yeah, it can be quite full on.
Wow, that's great. That's just great.
Nice.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Julian. And I do these talks every Wednesday night at this time, so you're more than welcome. And I do them on Sunday as well. You're always more than welcome to join and ask questions.
Is it GMT? What's the time?
GMT, it's 7 p.m. on Wednesday, and GMT 5 p.m. on Sunday.
All right, sounds very good. I'll probably drop by on Sunday then.
Okay, thanks, Julian.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Hello, Christian.
Hello, Lisa.
Do you know that I'm streaming at the moment?
I do.
Oh,
yes.
good. Okay.
I'm watching the video. I'm new to this, but I have a question.
Okay, go for it. I sometimes tell people that because I'm not sure if they've been listening or not, and then they're talking away to me, and they suddenly realise 70 people are listening to them.
No, in fact, this question has just recently come up in a group. I belong to a group. Not sure if you've heard of them, Liberation Unleashed.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about them, but I've heard of them for other people mentioning them.
It was just a question that came up.
Yeah.
I mean, and that was regarding others.
Yeah.
There's some debate in relation to whether there are others or are there not others.
Yeah.
And it's a bit of a minefield.
It is, and the answer.
There are many people saying, "Oh no, there definitely aren't others."
But
because obviously there is just this.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there are some people saying, "Oh, there are definitely others."
Yeah. Well, the answer can only ever come from the experience. So what's the experience? Are there others? Right here, right now.
There does appear to be others, yes.
Where does there appear to be others? I'm not saying you're wrong or right, but I'm just questioning where do you think the others are?
Oh, that's tricky. I mean, I have realised that I, is just a thought.
Yeah.
There is no separate self, but then it's pushing this further, you see, onto others, which is hence the question.
Yeah. I is also an energy, though, as well. I'm sure you like the thought and the energy of it. It becomes an energetical feeling as well of I, and then it feels like there's this person, this energy inside the body. But that's got nothing to do with the question I asked you. I just wanted to clarify the way I speak.
Yeah, I mean, it does appear that there are others, yes.
So, and where are those others?
External to me.
So they're in other bodies?
I would say the bodies are them.
The bodies are them. So there are others' bodies. So what you're saying, there's other bodies.
Yeah.
There's other objects. Fair enough in thought. And in description, that's a fair enough description. That's the way that humans work. We describe things in words. And
fine. That is just a thought about what is it?
Yeah.
What is happening? Yeah, sure.
And language is always in too. It's always in subject object. So there is other bodies out there. Does that imply there's other entities? That there's other bodies that are moving and talking? So other bodies are appearing.
Yeah.
and other stories, when they're telling their stories, the bodies are
Yes.
talking about themselves as appearing
Yes.
in this. But does that imply other entities? And where are these other entities? We can say that there's an experience of another body when there's a body there.
Yeah.
Can you actually find an entity?
It's just an appearance.
What, the entity? The body's just an appearance, for sure, that come and go, the bodies. But what about an entity? Are there others? The body is still appearing in this oneness. If you want to use the word consciousness, I don't know what word they use. I mean, really, there's no consciousness, but
any word
yeah.
isn't it?
No, but there's this one eye, which is an absolute nonsense saying it's one eye, because it's not anything and yet it's everything. Or you could say there's what is, and in what is, another body is peering.
Yes.
But is there anything outside of that what is? Because there could only be another entity outside of that what is. There can't be another entity inside that what is. There's only one what is.
Yeah, anything that comes up is just a thought.
Yep. And just exactly the same thing as you. But it's also expressed in an energy. It feels like energetically you're in there, the space, and they're over there. It's energy and thoughts at the same time appearing, like feelings and sensations which are being pulled and personalized. But yet, the other is just a thought. If there's no thought, there's just what is. You can't even describe it as body, but we're just going to label it as body because there's seemingly objects in what is. But there's not really objects, and there's not really space. They're just words we're describing them as.
Yeah.
And there really isn't another. What there does
I fully understand exactly what you're saying.
And what does seem to appear, and I think sometimes this is what. God, my radiator that I'm next to is so hot. I keep opening and closing the window, and now I'm stripping. You can't see me.
Oh,
yeah.
Video.
Yeah. What other people, what the argument I think most probably in non-duality often is there can be appearing descriptions of bodies in time. This is amazing functioning that humans have with thoughts, is there can be a description of a body, but does a description of a body imply an entity, a separate entity? How is that description of the other body any different the description than Christian's body? It's all appearing in what is.
Yeah.
In not two-ness. There's never two, there's only two in description. So for sure, what appears is a description of another body. And that's where you can call another entity if you really wanted to push it, or another character, but it's not a separate thing.
Yeah.
It's just a description appearing the same way the light appears, the same way thoughts appear.
Yeah, I've been trying to mentally understand this, that the notion of others is a thought appearing.
Yeah.
And that thought appearing is also in this.
Yeah. And before, that thought was taken as a truth. Other, me. And what will begin to happen is that will begin to crumble. Then there can still be descriptions about bodies, but that's not seen as something separate to you.
Yeah.
It's just something appearing in this, the same way as a description of Chris. There's always going to be descriptions of the body. It's this weird thing that humans have of being able to describe time, but it's not a reality. It's just a functioning.
That was a big one. There is no time.
Yeah.
And it's like when you fully take that on board, it's like, oh my.
Yeah.
Everything just, yeah.
So much.
Crazy.
And what else was I going to say, Chris, about this?
Yeah, also.
Forgot. I forgot what I was going to say. You can carry on.
You could say stating there is no time. Also, if you go along down that path, is there cannot be others if there is no time. Because if you say there is others, then you are saying that the others exist within time.
Yeah. And it's the same thing, you and others. They're the same thing.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with a description of what the bodies do. That's another perfectly valid experience happening now.
Yeah.
Apparent description of what the bodies do, but it's not a reality. It's something that's appearing now, which is quite mysterious how and why it's appearing, but for some reason it's appearing, but it's appearing in this.
Yeah.
This isn't appearing in time. This has always contained time.
Yeah, but the mind cannot grasp it.
No. Yeah,
But,
and that's why I said at the beginning, it's always in the experience. It's never in what he says, she says. It's right here, right now. The only thing that what happens in these talks is just trying to point past what you think you know.
Yes.
Which is nothing.
Yeah.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yeah. Everything, even the words we're speaking now, everything. It's all thought.
Yeah.
It's there's no truth in it at all.
And it's sounds appearing, but these sounds for some reason come with meaning, but that meaning isn't a reality. That meaning's been taken as a reality. It's just communication.
As one of my friends say, it's a conceptual overlay on reality. Yeah.
But it's nothing wrong with concepts and the conceptual. It's just when that's taken as real, it's not real.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you say there is something wrong with it, again, that's the mind stating that there is a problem.
It's a problem with it, and it isn't.
It is simply how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Well, thank you very much for the chat, Lisa. It's been great. Thank you very much for taking my call.
My pleasure. Thanks, Christian.
Speak to you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
I like it when people call in. That's nice. Okay. Loving what you're saying, sharing, Lisa. That's from Julius. Thanks, Julius. So somebody's question that I was half answering, and then Paul, what do you think about self-inquiry? Yes. Self-inquiry can appear or not appear, and the idea that it's useful is just an idea appearing in this boundlessness. Self-inquiry normally comes with the idea that you're going to get somewhere from it, but where are you going to get to? More of this? Hi Lou, Liberation Unleash. A bunch of non-liberated people who claim the contrary. What a bitch I am. Wow. I think the thing with liberation, or whatever words we use about it, is it's all got you all have an idea of what liberated is. So they've got a certain idea of what liberated is, and somebody else has a certain idea of what liberated is. And I think their description is seeing no self, but I don't really know much about them. But then, who is seeing no self? Hello, Lisa. What can I do when my body feels constantly bad? It does not help me when I know that I am not the body. In the flow of things, I'm sure there's many things that could help the body to feel better. But I don't know about that. I just talk about non-duality, which is pointing back to the freedom that's here. But there's many things that could help an uncomfortable body, from medication to physical therapy, acupuncture, shiatsu, lots of different things. But that's not the same as what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this timeless freedom that's right here, right now. But if you want help for your body, there's many different therapies that seemingly help the body. And there's nothing wrong or right with doing them, but it might improve the situation. Does Lisa? Never mind. Thank you. Sweet. Hi, Jeff, Nevin. Hi, Bobby Joy. Could it be more focused way of discovering the question you ask, such as who is asking the question? Everything you think you know, Paul, you don't know. You don't know the true meaning of useful. You're just lost in the dream of the idea of useful. You don't know where you're going. You're just lost in a dream of somewhere you think you're going. All right, guys, this is it. We've been going for a long time. Almost 2 hours. Enough is enough. But before we go, I'm just going to do some advertisements. Everyone always tells me I'm an idiot for doing it at the end because no one listens to the end, but that's what happens. It couldn't be any other way. And is it really happening? That's the question we'd all like to know the answer to. Okay. So this coming weekend, we've got talks in London. Events. So the 29th of March, we've got talks in London. Just turn up, no booking, 2 o'clock till 4:45, and that's in a pub in the Strand. Then in April, we've got Ireland, where I was last time, which is near Dublin. This is all on my website, and that's the 12th and the 13th. And then the weekend, or the 2 weeks after that, the 18th to 21st, Easter weekend, we've got talks in Belgium. Stan says there's still some more places left. There's lots of places if you don't want to stay, but if you want to stay at Stan's, there's a couple more places left because some people have decided to camp. And this is really lovely what Stan's doing. He's offering his accommodation free of charge, so don't give him too much hassle. I want my own room, I need luxury, or whatever it is, or how many bathrooms are. If you're not paying for it, you've got to accept that it's not going to be 5-star hotel. Okay, and then May, we've got Paris, the 2nd, 3rd and 4th. June, we've got Vienna, the 6th to the 8th. And then Greece, a 7-day residential in Pelican, Greece. Which I think is selling out really well because it's a really nice little holiday there. It's a beach holiday and talks at the same time. And I think my friend Neho is going to offer yoga as well, so it's very nice. Then in July, the 4th to the 6th, it's Amsterdam, Holland. And then in October, we've got Findhorn, Scotland. I think I've maybe got some more to put on there as well. Okay, guys. I'll stop recording and then I'll just put a piece of music on. We haven't been banned today. Hopefully I won't get a notice or anything. So bye to guys on record. Bye.